Hi everybody, it's Keren here from tuppencecoloured.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me today. This is what I've been making today. It's a pretty little scene in a box frame, and I've taken it to the next level because if I flick this switch, it lights up. I'm not sure how well you can see that on the camera, but in real life it's really, really pretty, trust me. It's a little bit of a fiddle to do, I won't deny it, but I think it's worth it. So stay with me and I'll show you how I made it. So here's what I'm going to be using today. I've got a piece of Whisper White, and I'm going to be doing my die cutting out of that. And the dies that I'm going to be using are the Hometown Greetings edgelets. I've got a little piece of vellum, which I'm going to be using to back my die cuts. And I've got a scrap of Whisper White, which I've cut to 3 inches by 1.5 inches. The 3 inches is so that it fits inside my box frame. Okay, and I've also got a piece of Merry Music DSP, which I'm going to be using to as the backing inside my frame, and I've cut that to, I think it's about 3.25 inches square, something like that, but it's just big enough to fit inside the back of the frame. This is the frame. It's a little box frame. This size isn't very expensive. I think it cost me a couple of pounds. I have prepared it by drilling a hole in the bottom left hand side here, which will be the right hand side when you're looking at it from the front. And most important, to make the magic happen, I've got a string of micro LEDs. And when you're looking for these, you need to find the kind that has got the leaf-shaped battery pack. This little scrap of paper is going to be what I build my scene on. And I need it to fit inside my box frame. So this is the box part that sits inside the frame, and before I got started I measured it, and I found that it was about 5/8 of an inch deep. Can you see that? And the internal measurement from corner to corner is about 3 1/8 of an inch. I hope you can see that with the lights. If not, you just have to take my word for it. So with that in mind, I've cut my scrap of paper to 3 inches, and I'm going to score it every 1/4 of an inch. So then start at 1/4 of an inch, half, 3/4, 1, 1 1/4. Okay, so I wind up with that shape, and now I'm going to fold it in the middle, and then back again. Okay, so that's not very well folded, is it? Let's put that a bit. Okay. So I wind up with that sort of a cross section. Looks like a letter E. Okay, and I'm going to run some tear and tape along those middle folds here. To make them stick together. Okay, now that is going to be the foundation that I build my little town on. To save a bit of time, I've gone over to the big shot and I've die cut out my pieces of Whisper White, and I've trimmed them so that they are about 3 1/8 of an inch wide, and I've also trimmed them so that they sort of stack like that. So that one's going to be the one at the front, this one's going to be the one in the middle, and that one's going to be the one at the rear. I've put some squares of vellum over the backs of the little houses, and I've reinforced the trunk of the tree with just a little bit of cocktail stick, and I've got some tear and tape on the back of these two pieces, and on this one I've got a strip of the edge of my dimensionals, right? So these are going to be built onto my piece of my shaped piece of card. So all I need to do is to take away that backing on the tear and tape. I'm just going to lift that one into place. Right, second one. It's going to go in there, just like that, and this one is going to go onto the back piece. Now the reason why I put dimensionals on that piece is that I want to stand it just a little bit away from the back of the frame. I've got a couple of bits of tear and tape on the back of the DSP, and I'm just going to take off the backing and pop that on to the back of my frame. Just like that. I wanted to. But I want to light this piece up, so I've gone ahead and I've punched some holes into these pieces with my handheld punch, and I've put some tear and tape along the bottom here, and I'm just going to line it up onto my wooden frame. And I'm lining it up with the black. Okay. And I'm just going to press that down firmly so that it all stays more or less where I want it. I've pierced I have the hole in my backing piece. Here are my lights, and this is the slightly fiddly bit. So I'm going to thread those through there and through there. I will admit this is a little bit fiddly, but when I turn the light on, I think it is totally worth it. Can you see that? So now I'm just going to bring in the rest of the frame, turn that over and drop it in, and those pieces just fold down. And to keep this in place, I'm going to put a couple of strips of tear and tape. Stick that And there it is, there is my completed scene. And if I just light it up for you again, and the camera really does not do it justice. It is very, very pretty in real life. Now, of course, you don't have to go to the lengths of electrifying it, as it were. It's pretty just as it is. And I hope that you've enjoyed this video. And if so, then I would love it if you came back and joined me again. Click the like button, subscribe to my channel, all of that good stuff. But for now, thank you very much for joining me, and I hope I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.